Sibiu lies at the foot of the southern Carpathian Mountains. Settlers from Germany were invited here in large numbers by the Hungarian king in the 12th century. Since then, their descendants call the city Hermannstadt. It became part of Romania after the First World War. History is everywhere. The old town looks almost intact. Anka Mihulet is an art critic and curator who specializes in contemporary art. She's planning to open a new gallery here in her hometown.
Die Stadt hat so wirklich eine große Kunstgeschichte und
the city has a rich history and artistic heritage. I thought it might be very interesting to create a mix of old and new culture. We thought an old garage would be a good venue for modern art in Sibiu.
Art of earlier periods is on show at the Bruckenthal Museum, a late 18th century palace built by Baron Samuel von Bruckenthal. Works from his considerable private art collection are still exhibited today.
Das Bruckenthal Museum ist 1817 eröffnet worden.
The Bruckenthal Museum opened in 1817 and is today one of the largest and most important museums in Romania. The palace was built in the Rococo period, but is not at all Rococo in style. It's very austere. The architecture is actually more neoclassical.
The Bruckenthal Museum is in the very center of Sibiu at Grand Square. On the north side of the square is the Baroque Catholic Church and City Hall. The old city has a second, smaller square. On its west side is Liar's Bridge, constructed in 1859. It's the oldest cast-iron bridge in Romania. It will collapse if a liar walks across it. At least that's the local legend. Almost all the buildings lining the square date from the 14th to 16th centuries. The attic windows are known as the eyes of the city.
In 1382, the King of Hungary gave Sibiu what it's called staple rights. That means its merchants could store and trade in certain goods. They could store them in the cellar or the attic, hence the very tall roofs. And the dormer windows were for ventilation.
The Cbu National Theatre is housed in an old cinema. Since 1956, it also has a German language section, which is now headed by Anna Neamțu. She puts on 6 productions a year. Here, they're rehearsing a piece based on Romanian folk tales.
The theatre in Sibiu is one of the most dynamic in all of Romania. The German section has especially contributed a lot to cultural life in the city.
Sibiu's prestigious International Theatre Festival will be held for the 20th time in June. It is set to draw huge crowds of performers and theatre lovers from around the world.